welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then hi. I've got some leftover rubbish from a 3D print machine. It's for a birdhouse, but this bit just didn't work out, and I don't like to chuck things away, so I thought, ooh, a frame. So yeah, I'm making a pretty picture. Using this frame as a frame, and I'm gluing it down to the silicone mat. I'm going to use a hot glue gun, to try and make sure it stays down, and I don't want to get any leakage. Now I'm also trying to make sure there's no little bits stuck on the inside, because I don't want the resin that I'm going to put in to miss parts. I want it all to be stuck together nicely. Now this glue gun is better than my other one. I did try with my other one. It's a rechargeable one, hands-free kind of thing. Not hands-free, plug-free. There's another word for it. You know what I mean. It's not got a cable on it, you know. So this one's a lot better. And it don't matter what colour I'm using with my glue. So I've got yellow, I've got blue, and I've got white, I think. So I need this to fill the whole of that shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The octagon. There we go. See, I can count to 8 at least. And I will have to sort of like blow it around and just make sure it gets all into the corners, and I need to make sure that I've got no bubbles lying around the edges, and that this is level. Is it level? Is it egg? It was not level. I had to use a couple of sticks at some point just to get it to be level. And I'm using my heat gun to get rid of all the bubbles and to make it so it's thin enough to run where I need it to run. And I thought, yeah, this is going to work. I can't see any leakage. Found Abby nosy. Now I've got my heat mat on as well, so it shouldn't take long to cure. And I'm catching every dreg out the bottom of my cup, just so I don't have too many little holes. Now at this point it doesn't matter if I do get a hole, and that was me trying to take out a hair. There was no hair, it was the light. I was trying to pick up the light. That's how blind I am. But I see things that aren't there. Now, what I didn't realise is that this mat was bumpling up underneath. As you saw there, I was, trying to stretch it out, which is a ridiculous thing to do when I'd already glued it down. Yeah, not the brightest bulb in the box. Ah, dear. But I do end up having to make a little bit more, because it's not quite enough. I think I did. An ounce, maybe 2 ounces. I know it took more resin than I expected, seeing as I only wanted it to be thin. Now this is going to take 2 lots of resin, because I want a bottom and I want a top. Now the bottom, I want to make sort of a pattern, like swirlies, and I guess it's going to look a bit like a pond, because yes, this is for Froggy Friday, and Froggy Friday was started by Girl in the Garage, Lisa, and Karen at the Dragon's Cave, and then Nerdy at Nerd Goblin Art, Tim the Base Resonator, and me. We all hopped along to give it a hand in linking people's links. There we go. And lots of people join in every Friday, and it's a bit of fun. So if anybody wants to join in, just send one of us an email. We've mostly all got our emails on our channels or in the description boxes, and we can set you up with that. So I'm using metallic alcohol ink wax, and I'm using gold, green gold, and rose or wine red. Three colours anyway. This is the green gold. That's it. So yeah, it's gold, green gold, and wine gold, I think. Red wine. I can't remember what it's called now. Anyway, it's my favourite colour, would you believe? Even though I can't remember what it's called. You can see how it's dancing about, and it looks like a splashy mess on top of it. But it does sort of separate and merge, and so I'm doing a little pattern in it, so it's already tacky and thick, my resin, so it won't move much, which I don't want it to move much. I quite like they're like a leafy pattern. It looks like autumn leaves on the top. It's really quite nice. I like it. So I'm going in, then out, then in, then out with my pokey tool, and then give it a bit of a swirl all the way around. Don't know why I did the little swirl, or the big swirl now, because it's going all the way around. But yeah, but you can see how thick my resin is at the minute, because it's stringy when I take out my pokey tool. So I'll leave that, and the next bit is to start painting it. And now it's at the stage where I want to lift it off, and I'm like, please, 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 fingers crossed, please, just come off and don't leave the thing behind. I wanted it all in one piece. Now it did leak, and you'll see that when I take it off. There's some overpour, look, quite a bit of mess around the edges. So I am going to use some scissors. Because it's still smushy, it's easy for me to cut then. I can't use a deburring tool. I'm two-handed, too clunky, and I gouge the resin. So to me, just leaving it soft for a while and getting a pair of scissors is the best thing for me to do. Because look at this, it just snips off. Like I said, it's still a bit soft and squishy, but that's easier to cut off than it is when it's rock hard. So much better. And I do have to give the back a bit of a file down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my frog on. But I've already drawn a picture. Now if you were with me last week, I did a watercolour frog, and I thought I'll draw some more frogs. And one of the pictures I thought, I like that, that's cute. So I'm going to use that picture of a frog that I drew. Not last week's frog, but a new frog. And he's going to go slap bang in the middle. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, he is in the middle. And so it's going to be a frog of acrylic paint on resin, sandwiched in resin. Yeah. Oh dear. So it's mixed media, definitely, because I've used inks, I've used resin, I've used 3D printing, mistake, and acrylic paints. Oh, and marker pens. Yeah, I use them too. So basically it's a throw the kitchen sink at it and see if it works again. But you can see that it's all stuck. You can first see that where that mat's been. See that big bump in the middle? You can feel it as well when you put your hand over it. But like I said, it's going to have another coat on. So there's my picture of a frog. That's last week's. This is the new one. And so I thought, instead of trying to draw it freehand when I've already drawn it, just cheat. So yeah, I'm looking at it thinking, is that central? It's just about right. So yeah, I started doing my fly first, and I made it go out and further up. And black marker works brilliantly on resin. And I think I kind of slightly altered it a bit because it doesn't look right when I do it. You know, because it's like looking through glass. It's like a different layer of. It's not when you've got a piece of paper on the top and it's straight image. When it's like a piece of glass or like this resin, it gives you a slight wonk to it when you're trying to trace. So I kind of had to sort of try and trace it, but if it didn't work, I'd just sort of adapted as I was going. And his hands are huge. I wanted it to look like he was laid down on his belly on some flowers on top of the water. Now, I really should have put like a blue, but I want it so you can see through it. Even though I know if you put it in direct sunlight, the inks will disintegrate, disappear, because that's what inks do in the sun. Now, I don't know why I put that leaf handle there. Leaf thing, because it's not that kind of leaf, and I will get rid of that with some alcohol inks. No, isopropyl and a Q-tip earbud. So that's my drawing, and right now you can't really see it, so I'm going to paint the first coat on, because it's going to need more than one coat, because otherwise when you look through it, it'll be streaky and horrible. And so I've done my first coat, and now I'm on to my second coat and the detail. So the white isn't that great. If you've noticed, I've missed that long bit on that leaf because it will be taken off. And these are the lily pads around on the pond. And I'm going to just put little hints of light and dark wherever I think it needs to be, mixing the colours together so the tone is in keeping with the rest of it. There will be some like a light greeny yellow in between to make the lines of his body, just to make him show up a bit more. The pen will be completely done. The tongue will be completely done by the pen. Oh my days! And then over the top with another one. So I used two different markers. First marker, I didn't like it. It didn't seem to sit on very well. It puddled. So I waited for it to dry a little bit, and then went over again with a lighter pink. Now, his eyes, one eye's bigger than the other. At this stage, it does get better. He does look a little bit more normal when I'm done. So right now he looks like he's a bit dizzy or drunk. So going in with the white, make it match a bit more. But what I'll do is I'll go in over the top with black so the eyes pop a bit more too. And I'll make the yellow, though it's like a yellowing orange on the flowers, make that a bit stronger. It's really pretty. I like the colour, and I do mix it a bit more and add it somewhere else, I think. I can't actually remember. Oh god, I wish I could do a voiceover at the same time as when I'm doing what I'm doing, but I can't, because I know what my mouth's like. I am a potty mouth, and I will swear. I know I will. Or I'll say something to somebody else, or yeah, I just can't do it. Plus the fact I like to do my voiceovers at night when everybody's gone to bed. It's so much easier. Then all I've got to contend with is cats. So I'm just going in, putting a different shade in, and I use the yellowy colour and the green, and mixed it up together, just to give it a bit of shading and more definition. Yeah, definition. And I'm going to put a few spots on him too, because he's a little warty frog. His mouth's huge, but then it's a frog. It's supposed to be. So there's the dots, and I'll just go around on his belly, because his belly needs to be a bit, well, his chest actually, it's his chest. It needs to be a little bit of a different colour. make it look cute. And this looks light, but it's not. It's not as light as you think it is. It's just because the light's actually hitting it. And I'm going to put some white wings on the fly and some white on the flowers, and then it'll be time to go around with the black line to make it more cartoonish. I like bold and I like cartoonish kind of art. It's just my thing, I think. I'm not very delicate when it comes to art. I like things to be bold and in your face. And if it's not bold and in your face, then black line will do it. So we're nearly up to finishing off with his tongue. His eyes pop now, and I will make them a little bit bigger, the black dots. It's not quite big enough for me. Just going detailing the flowers, and what I'll do is I'll also drill a hole through the top and the bottom, so then I can hang it from something, and I'll add a chain and what I call a dewdrop crystal to the bottom, so it looks like a sun catcher, so it can be hung on a wall rather than in the windows. So now is the time for the next coat of resin, but I'm going to put just this tiniest, and I mean tiniest, dab of this. It's like a super sparkle white from Temu. I've got 2 pots of this, but the amount you use, these 2 pots will last me years. I'm not kidding either. See, I put the tiniest amount in. You look at this in a minute when I tip it towards the camera. It is very, very sparkly. In fact, it's too much in my opinion. You look at that. It's so fine and delicate, that glitter. Well, it's not even a glitter, it's a powder, but it's just so nice. It's almost like an aurora, but not quite there. It is a glitter, but it's very, very fine. So I'm going to pour this over the top and use my heat gun to get it into all the corners, and I'll go around with my pokey tool just to go around the edges, and this will also get rid of any dimpling that I've got. That it's not really dimpling, but if I've missed anything, it's there. I'll get it with this resin, and it makes it look, I don't know, makes it look much softer. Makes it look delicate now, actually, without it. So yeah, it's pretty. So like I said, I'm going to drill a hole top and bottom, stick a crystal on it, and it'll be a nice wall hanging. It's quite pretty. I'll take some photos and put them at the end, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Don't forget to check out the description box. Bye bye.
In a world of shadows, light does sing. Goth unicorn with a blackened wing. Happy she dances under moonlit nights, creating beauty, spurring on delight. Her hooves step softly to the softest bells, crafting wonders in her secret spells. From threads of silver and whispers bright,